Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys liked the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. What's up guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert, do your own research. Today I'm just going to review some altcoins. Wanted to do Ethereum, BNB, APE, a few others, but okay. So let's get to it. Ethereum looks pretty reasonable, but again, Ethereum is mostly following Bitcoin. It's really hard to tell what areas of resistance they're going to be for Ethereum. It's right near these wicks here, and if you look on volume profile as well, you can see that there's a lot of volume transacted right around this current area, around this 1300, 1325 area. There are some SR levels as well. If you look kind of along this $1,400 area, you can see that this was the former range high back in September before price moved up to the 1600s, and before obviously the big FTX dump, where this was the former sort of range high, and price is currently approaching that area. We're seeing a lot of consolidation and compression with the EMAs, and price did move higher, and this is really just going to be dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin moves up to the 19K areas, then I think that this grinds all the way up to like the 1500s, to be frank and honest with you. I think this goes breaks up here, maybe pulls back a little bit, but then I wouldn't be surprised to see this go up to like 1500 to the supply zone right around here. You can see that this consolidation area over here, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this like come up to this region around 1500, 1600, and then pull back. That would be pretty likely in my opinion. But again, it's going to be very dependent on Bitcoin. But I still think that things look pretty reasonable in the short term. Price chopped around for weeks on end, early December all the way to current. And we saw lots of compression with the EMAs, and now it's expanding. So yeah, would expect it to continue to fill out this overall inefficient move here that we saw from the 16K all the way down to $1,000 area, and then some sort of big time pullback from 1600 all the way potentially lower. BNB had a lot of FUD overall with regards to the overall exchange. Like, it makes sense. People don't really want to trust exchanges as of right now, and I don't blame them. Like, it's better safe than sorry. If you have money on an exchange, you're not really trading a whole lot. It's probably not really great to keep your money on there, if I'm being honest with you. However, with that said, BNB I do believe is currently safe. And if BNB was insolvent, then I think it would send us all back to the Stone Age. We would all get super we would get wrecked overall as an industry. I think that, in the short term, this looks kind of negative. I mean, there is some sort of range that's formed from this $300 area all the way from 250. And, price is interacting a lot with that 200 EMA recently and pulled back. Nuked all the way to the 250 area, kind of this range low, but it looks like we're going to see a little bit more grinding back down to that level. So, maybe we see something like this, and then maybe we see another move up to the range highs again, up to 300. Don't really know if this is going to be like something that we see as a continuing move down, unless we continue to see large withdrawals and or just more and more exchange FUD in general. That's certainly possible. If we see that, then obviously I think this goes to the low 200s at that point. But for now, it just still seems fine. It's still chopping around, still in a range. I still believe that Binance is okay, and I still believe that this would be a token that looks pretty reasonable, all things considered, in terms of the mid to long range, because Binance is still is the biggest exchange and still should be overall okay. Let's take a look at Fetch AI. Fetch AI has gotten a lot of steam recently because and a lot of hype because of the AI narrative with ChatGPT, and I thought these overall levels were pretty clean, and I use this fib for this entire move, and it hit right around the 618, chopped around for a while, and then it moved higher. Generally speaking, when you use these types of fib setups, I think that, you know, you typically will see some sort of lower high like it did, come back down, and then make some sort of lower highs, but ultimately probably just keep going lower. If Bitcoin does do pretty well, then I wouldn't be surprised to even see it make another move higher up to like the, you know, the 13 cents area, and then like a bigger pullback. But, you know, as of right now, I think that most of the short-term move is done. Generally speaking, when you see it chop around the 618 and then move up, it'll make a lower high, and which it did, and then it'll start coming back down. So I don't think there's actually any futures on this that I can see. So, you know, maybe not one that is really great for that. You can't really short it, but in terms of longing it, I wouldn't long the 618 again, because that area already got tapped and already lots of demand already soaked up. So I wouldn't buy this 9 cents area personally. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes lower overall. Let's take a look at ApeCoin. ApeCoin recently had a lot of shorting going on, and I remember the funding was really crazy. Like, people were shorting the fuck out of this thing, and then it squeezed higher. Short-term potential double top if you could look here, but it's still really uncertain. The chart still looks fine to me, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, it doesn't look great. Potential double top, as I said before, but nothing here shows true pullback yet. I'm not seeing quite distribution yet. If I start looking on the higher time frame charts, you know, this doesn't look great, I will say. But as of right now, it still seems reasonable for right now. It somewhat looks like this price action that we saw back in July, where price chopped around, looks pretty damn ugly on high time frame charts, and then had one more leg up. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see something like that, but I'm not really going to be buying this because the chart isn't very clear to me. Maybe it chops around a little bit more, and then it goes to like this, like kind of mid 5 area. That's kind of totally expected. And if this is in fact distribution, then I would expect to see us chop around a lot more at the current area, and then form some sort of pattern similar to that, where it's chopping around at the highs, similar to what we saw back in July. I mean, that was a very ugly price action, and I feel like this type of price action usually leads more to distribution and it pulling back versus it going higher. But as of right now, this isn't really a super clear chart to me, so I personally would just go ahead and I'm going to not buy this one personally. Let's look at Link. Link is a shitcoin that I'm buying right now. I am just DCAing into it. It's a very slow trade for me. And I think that the chart still looks pretty reasonable to me personally, but it's not a very active setup at all. Like, it's chopped around for 200 days, 220 days, several months now, 7 months. EMAs are all kind of evening out, and we're seeing just like lots of consolidation with the EMAs still within this overall range. I'm just buying it. I'm letting it sit. I'm not really doing anything with it, and I'll go ahead and sell it when it gets up to the $13 area. So I'll just wait for 2x and just chill at that point. But until that time, I'm just going to let this chill. Very inactive trade for me, just DCAing all the way from 750 all the way down to 550, and just have orders all throughout this range. So very inactive trade, but overall the high time frame charts, in my opinion, still look pretty reasonable. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the support, and good luck.